How can I be a successful reader? Today we are going to focus on characters. Characters. When authors plan a story, they can decide who the characters are going to be. Characters are the people or the animals in the story. Authors use words and illustrations to help you understand the characters. Now we can ask ourselves, how do we find external traits or how do we find internal traits? If you look at the poster, external traits are the things that we can see, like the character's hair color, their eye color, their clothing, how tall they are, their facial expressions. For their internal actions, that's a little more challenging. It's looking at their feelings and thoughts. So we have to look at what they're saying and doing to figure that out. Today we're going to be reading Picture Day Perfection, which is a realistic fiction book. That means it's made up, but the events could really happen, and the characters are going to talk and act like real people. So I'm going to read to you now Picture Day Perfection. Before I do that, I like to predict what my story is going to be about. So on this front cover, I see a boy with messy hair. He's got some dirt on his face. He's making a weird face. So his picture probably didn't turn out right. But in the title, it says Picture Day Perfection. The word perfection means perfect. So that might be a little confusing. How did his picture turn out perfect if he is messy? I'm going to read and listen for that. I'd planned for months. This was going to be the year of the perfect school picture. But some days, not everything goes according to plan. The day started with the worst case of bedhead ever. Exhibit A, the front view. Exhibit B, the side view. Exhibit C, the back view. Exhibit D, the look on my brother's face when he saw my hair. Then it took me quite some time to unearth my favorite shirt. I finally found it at the very bottom of the hamper. You might call it stained, you might call it wrinkled, you might even call it smelly. You wouldn't be wrong. Breakfast was Picture Day pancakes, a family tradition. This year's festivities involved a small syrup disaster. More accurately described as a large syrup disaster. And it occurred exactly as the bus pulled up. I had a feeling we'd be getting a new family tradition. Boys and girls, how would you describe what the boy looks like? If you said brown hair, big eyes, sticky face, crooked smile, you would have described him correctly. Those are his external traits, what he looks like. Let's keep reading. On the bus, I got into a small bit of trouble. Make that a large bit of trouble. The bus driver made me sit in the seat right behind him for the rest of the ride. By the time I got into school, my picture day face was fixed in a scowl. In class, Mrs. Smith collected our photo order forms. Do you think my mom checked emerald green for my photo background, or peacock blue, or pizzazzy purple? No. Once again, of all the backgrounds in the world, my mom checked snoring boring traditional gray. No one gets traditional gray. Except for me. And it just so happens to be the only color in the world that makes my favorite shirt disappear, all but the stains and the wrinkles. Boys and girls, how do you think the boy feels here? I would say he probably feels a little upset or angry because he even said, my mom chose snoring, boring, traditional gray. No one gets that except for me. He might even feel maybe a little isolated or different. Let's keep reading. After that, the teacher had us all stand up and practice our picture day smiles. Personally, I thought we needed a little something to get us in the picture day mood. Whoops, got myself in trouble again. Boys and girls, here he is trying to mess up on purpose. What does that tell us about his personality? What kind of kid he is? He might be a little mischievous, meaning he likes to start trouble. Luckily, I got to rejoin the class in time for art. Art involved quite a lot of paint, or at least it did for me. Finally, it was time to line up for our photos. Ned, just in front of me, got the last complimentary plastic comb. I watched as classmate after classmate smiled for the camera. I got queasy listening to everybody say, "Cheese." I can't stand cheese. The mere thought of it turns me green, deeply green, and just as my face reached its most awful pea green shade, it was my turn. I stepped forward. I sat down on the stool. It was hard as a rock and cold as an iceberg. "Just a sec," said the photographer as he fiddled with the camera knobs. As I sat and waited, everything that had happened rushed through my mind. The monstrous messes, the muddles and the mix-ups. The whole day, from the moment I had rolled out of bed, had gone perfectly. Even better than planned. This year, I was finally going to have the perfect school picture. Boys and girls, remember I predicted at the beginning that his picture didn't go so well and that it would be perfect. So here, he is wanting it to be messy on purpose. That's how it went perfectly according to his plan. But there might be a little twist. Listen up. And that's when I heard a click. In a flash, all my hard work, my perfectly tangled hair, my perfectly rumpled shirt, my perfectly sticky face, my perfectly composed scowl, that perfect boring background, those perfect paint splatters, that perfect sickly pallor, wasted, useless, ruined, in a moment of weakness, by an unexpected smile. Mom says it's my best picture ever. But just wait till she sees next year's. All right. Boys and girls, today we will find evidence that supports how a character feels by using the process of elimination, because knowing a character will help us understand how they will respond to events. So here's how we're going to be successful. We will read each answer choice and think, does that show whatever emotion? If no, we're going to eliminate it or cross it out. If yes, we are going to put a dot in front and then read the rest of the options, and then we will choose the best option. So watch me as I do our model. First, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see. I'm already on the pen utensil. I just need to pick a color. And I probably should also make sure that the sizer is all the way down. Okay, so I need to read the answer choice first and think, does it show whatever emotion they're asking in the question? So it says, which sentence from the story best shows that the boy is upset? So A, Mrs. Smith collected our photo order forms. Does that show that the boy is upset if the teacher is collecting the order forms? I don't think so. So if I said no, I'm going to cross it out. Cross out the first one. Letter B. Do you think my mom checked emerald green for my background? Here he's just asking a question. So does that really show that he's upset? No, I don't think so. Okay, C. No one gets traditional gray except for me. Does that show that he is upset? I think it might. So I said yes. So I'm going to put a dot in front just to hold my place. And I'm going to read the next one. All but the stains and wrinkles. Does that show that he is upset, just saying that his shirt had stains and wrinkles? I don't think so, because remember, he dug that specific shirt out of the laundry hamper because it was his favorite. So I don't think that would make him upset. I'm going to cross that one out. So now I'm ready to choose the best option. Well, the only one that has the dot in front is letter C. So I'm going to circle letter C. All right, now it is your turn.